Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early January 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Aquarius collective in early January 2026? We are starting a brand new calendar year, and we are getting very close to Aquarius season, my good friends. I hope you're getting the birthday parties ready, sending me an invite. But yeah, let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a peek at. And we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius in early January. What we got here is we start the year off right, hopefully. All right, let's get this card going. There we go. Thank you. Cool. Nurturing, loving, caring, very spiritual, highly spiritual, actually. And this is one of my favorite cards in this whole entire oracle deck, and it shows up from time to time. It does pay us a little visit here and there, but before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady in that big red headdress, and she is snuggling up there to that white dove that seems to be illuminated. So in symbolism and divination, I always see white birds and doves as representatives of peace, innocence, but also spirit. So think of angelic energy, source energy, guides, spirit team, ancestors, all that. So there is a very obvious connection and love and care. So it shows up in the front of a reading. I feel very reassured. That's the first thing. I feel protected. I feel reassured. So that is a message I will pass on to Aquarius, where it's like, I am still with you. I am watching over you. I am protecting you. That's a beautiful energy. Now, it can lean also into feelings of nurturing. So for some Aquarians, maybe you're just a little softer around the edges than you normally are. Maybe there's someone you're connected to that could use a hug or two. Maybe you feel like you could use some hug or affection. I'll give you a big virtual one. You know, I'm always good for the big virtual bear hugs. But yeah, this to me, it's either I need or I want to give, which I think is nice. It's usually good. Um, I don't even pick up any negatives off of this. So we're just going to let the good messages stand where they stand, the spiritual protection and the wanting closer connection. So we're going to let her chill out. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aquarius. What do we got? And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It did seem pretty good to me. Now, the reading overall, it was a little bit of a mixed bag. It wasn't like perfection, but the reading was titled A Surprising Win, where something could come in completely out of the blue, where it's like, oh yeah, I'll take that, or something goes better than expected. And I always say wins, victories, they come in all different shapes and sizes, right? Sometimes it's interpersonal relationships. Sometimes you just have a really good day. Sometimes it's monetary, right? There could be a lot of ways it could show up. So if it hasn't yet, that could still bleed over. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Aquarius. What do we got for our good friends? What do we got for Aquarius, please? So specific this week. Usually your cards pop right on out. Okay, 8 of Swords, a little wound tight. Okay, not the worst card. We're not going to get all concerned about that. Could just be someone that's a little bit on edge. Okay, it's a little edgy. I don't want to call it an edge lord, but it just feels like it's edgy for whatever reason. Okay, Ace of Swords, cool. That's the rest. I mean, that's the prescription for this energy over here. The energy is like definitely super cerebral this week. Let's get one more. But again, it's an energy that Aquarius can work very well with, I believe. Okay. And then we have the peace. Okay, cool. Calm, total difference. So we have the 4 of Swords right here on the back end. And then we have, surprise, surprise, a little bit more spiritual protection with the Archangel Michael showing up on the back end. So I like what I'm seeing here initially, Aquarius. So it's like different stages of something. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at elements first. That always gives us a lot of hints and clues about how the energy is moving and the areas of life that could be very important. And your main part of the reading is all air. Now, for a lot of you that know about astrology, you know Aquarius, although you are technically the water bearer, you're an air sign. That's the element that connects to you. So when I see the Eight of Swords, Ace of Swords, Four of Swords, all air energy. It is your comfort zone. Now, I'm not a huge fan of when there's too much of an element because then that could really make the energy a little lopsided. But to me, it's like you can work with it. That's the thing. Since it is your comfort zone, you could work with it, but it is like so cerebral here, so internal. Air is very pragmatic, right? Like, so a couple things about the air element. It's logical, it's extremely smart, it's very intelligent, it's extremely pragmatic. It can represent strategy and planning. It's very sharp. The downside to a lot of air energy, it could be a little cold, it could be a little detached, it could be a little mean from time to time. But the thing with air, it moves quickly, so it doesn't stay in place for too long. Now, we do have that little hint of fire here on the back end. Hopefully, that doesn't make it too combustible. Fire is the realm of action and movement. But I feel like a lot of the stuff is happening between the ears, so to speak. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, the Eight of Swords. Now we see this lovely lady here. She is bound up, surrounded by all those eight swords. She is blindfolded, hoodwinked, and bamboozled. So yeah, there's some rough energy to go along here, but it's not all bad. Remember, every card is a double-edged sword. There's positive and challenge. Now, some of the challenges of the Eight of Swords, it could be an energy that feels trapped. It could be an energy that feels cornered. Um, it could be very much stressed, anxious, nervous, like nervous system overstimulated. That's a big thing with this. So watch out for anything that's getting you in a frenzy when this energy shows up. The good thing about the Eight of Swords, though, is that you can be freed from it, right? Like it's not long lasting, where it might be very, very intense for a short time. It passes, right? Like, so it's like intense, intense, and then better. And we see that as we get to the back end. So watch out for the overstimulation, overthinking, stressed, or nervous, because that could be somebody. It doesn't even have to be you. It could be someone else, right? They could just be in their mind more so than normal. A very big positive about this Eight of Swords to me is the fact that it can feel liberated at some point. So if there is something that's making you feel trapped, if there is something you're stressing or nervous about, this energy can easily free itself with a shift of perspective. So there might be a situation or something you might be going through where spirit's like, all right, Aquarius, that is what it is, but maybe look at it from a different angle. Maybe try to shift your perspective to see it differently. So I know that's very specific. Only take it however it hits. Now, moving to the center as we get this Ace of Eight of Swords, pardon me, getting a little tongue twisted. We have the Ace of Swords in the middle. And I like the Ace of Swords. I call it the Sword of Truth. Now, all aces to me represent opportunities and offers. They're fresh, they're new, they have so much potential. They all do represent messages and talks too. So when I see the Ace of Swords, it's usually very straightforward, honest, to the point. This is a huge card for clarity. So if you're seeking clarity with something, or you're trying to figure a situation out, figure a problem out, if you're trying to find information or uncover a mystery, the Ace of Swords is the type of energy you want to see, because that's the type that connects the dots. So I like the Ace of Swords for that, the Sword of Truth. The downside, it could often show up when things are very serious. So whether it's a situation or anything that's of a serious tone, the Ace of Swords will be there. Sometimes it could represent cutting things off. Sometimes it could represent cleaning out bad thought processes or habits or anything like that. It's like we're doing a spring cleaning. But the Ace of Swords can also be mean, right? Just like I was saying, it is a double edged sword, of course. So we need to look into it further. Now, moving to the back end, the energy does drop down several notches. We have the Four of Swords. So whereas it's all moving and moving and moving and anxious up here in the front, the Four of Swords is chill as chill can be. And we see that person there. It's kind of like they're laying there praying or meditating. This card does tie heavily into rest and sleep, the dream state. So spirit might be trying to send you some really vivid dreams or messages via dream. That could be very possible when this card is here. But it's at peace, right? It's meditating, it's going within, it's speaking to one's inner voice. So for some of you, if you don't meditate on a regular basis or you don't reconnect with your inner voice, maybe spirit wants you to do that. When the Four of Swords is here, it is a card of rest, recuperation. Um, I don't always think of endings with the Four of Swords. I think of a time of rest, a break of sorts. Now, the issue with this card, or the big challenge with the Four of Swords, is sometimes it could feel stuck. Sometimes it could be an energy that's, it's problematic. It's very clunky. So it fits the bill with what we're seeing. Then here on the back end, we have temperance, big Sagittarius vibes here. Archangel Michael. Again, it's serene, it's calm, it's like taking a chill pill, so to speak. When this is here, it is very much protected and insulated. So, just like with that Oracle card, I want to say it again, a lot of you probably have way more protection than you think you do. I think this is a really lovely card, but it's also a card of patience. So, I know a lot of Aquariuses hold themselves to a very high standard. Maybe Spirit's asking you to be kind to yourself, or patient with yourself, or patient with a process. So, I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aquarius. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Eight of Swords. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aquarius, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's get this going here. Why is the Eight of Swords in the mix? Okay. So we do have the Six of Cups in reverse underneath it. Now, I'm seeing the energy branch off in several different ways. I'm just going to put it all out there. You only take whichever one hits for you, if it hits for you. One, Eight of Swords, Six of Cups in reverse. I'm getting an energy of somebody that doesn't want to make the same mistake again, where it's like, I've done that before, but I don't want to make the same mistake twice. So there could be various situations that pop up there. You could be pulled into a situation where it's like, all right, I might do the same thing I did and I don't want to do that again. But then there's also this energy of wanting something back, or something looping back in. Like when I see the Eight of Swords and the Six of Cups in reverse, it's like, I wish I could give it another shot, or I wish I could try it again. If I could go back and do it a different way, I would. So again, be very patient with yourself. Those are two opposing energies here. Now, the Six of Cups, it can represent soul ties and soul connections. So when I see it in reverse underneath the Eight of Swords, you might have gotten your wires crossed. You might not be talking to someone you have a very deep connection with. That doesn't only have to be it, though. It's a card of memories. It's a card of the past to me. So when I see it in reverse underneath the Eight of Swords, I'm worrying about something that happened a very long time ago. I'm worrying about something that I can't really do anything about it right now. So watch out for stuff like that. Or I wish I could try something again. Or I want something to come back. I want something to return so I could try it again. So again, that could be you. It could be someone else. We're just going to keep moving forward. So it's like one energy wants to try something again, another one's like, yeah, but I don't want to make the same mistake again. It's like confusing in that kind of way. Let's keep moving. It's like I want to try it again, but I can't do it the same way. It's like very unique and specific for a general reading. But let's go in on the Ace of Swords. Let's see what that has. So why is that Ace of Swords here, please? Thank you. Yeah, a talk or a message that comes out of the blue. So we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. It's like, no, I'm going to say what's on my mind. It's like I'm speaking my truth type of energy here. So the Seven of Swords is usually an energy that's like very obscured, very hidden. We see the individual there. He's like making away with the sword. So it's the complete opposite to the Ace of Swords. So it's splitting in a couple directions. Again, for some of you, this could simply be an offer or a conversation, message, talk that just comes in completely out of the blue, right? Seven of Swords in reverse under the Eight of Swords. Wasn't there 1 second, it's here the next. So you might have those surprising, unexpected talks and messages for sure. But the Seven of Swords in reverse under the Ace of Swords, it's like, no, there's something I need to call out. There's something I've observed and I need to say it. There was something I didn't see before, but now I see it and now I'm going to say it. So just watch out for stuff like that. I know Aquariuses are very good at finding inconsistencies with people and how they move. Um, the energy here is calling something out. So like you might have a very hard time biting your tongue in this time in general. But aside from that, this could be like an unexpected or surprising talk or message. We're just going to keep going. And Well, let's see what the Four of Swords has. And these could be all different things. Keep that in mind. These could be totally different things and situations. I don't feel like this is a bad thing, but I feel like it's just very straightforward, blunt, and to the point. Let's see what the Four of Swords has. And we do our recap. So why is the Four of Swords here? Okay. So someone in planning mode, and I've seen this in a couple other signs this week. So we have the Two of Wands, and this energy is like, oh, I'll get around to it. It's I don't want to say it's like kicking the can down the road, but when I see the Four of Swords with the Two of Wands, which is one of my huge cards of strategy, planning, it's like, yeah, no, I'm going to do it, but when I feel like it. It's giving me one of those vibes here. Um, no pressure, of course, no judgment here. Never cast judgment. But the Two of Swords, I mean, maybe this is necessary. Maybe Spirit does want you to take a more slow, planned, and methodical approach. But yeah, the Four of Swords and the Two of Wands, it's like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to plan something and I'm going to do it. When I do it, I'm going to do it right. And I will do it at some point, but when I feel like it. I know that's hyper specific. So again, it doesn't have to be you. Maybe it's someone you're connected to. Maybe they're in the planning phase of something, being very quiet while they strategize and plan. That could absolutely be the case. Um, but it's like I will, but not yet. I will, but not right now. So for some Aquariuses, if you have a to-do list, this energy doesn't seem super pumped about handling the to-do list. Like it's going to get around to it. I don't know why I keep saying that and I keep kicking the can down the road, but that's the big energy I'm picking up here. Where it's like I'll do it, I plan on doing it, but not yet. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadows. So lots of very specific stuff showing up here this week, Aquarius. If you kindly look in the box position number one, we got the Eight of Swords with the Six of Cups. And this was like giving me mixed signals because initially it was saying, hey, there's a mistake that I don't want to make again. Or there's something that like I can't repeat it the exact same way. But then there's this other energy where it's like, I wish I could try something, but do it differently. Or I want something to come back around so I could try a different approach with it. So it's like, all right, well, those two energies are a little conflicted. Maybe that's why there's so much sword energy because it sees from both angles. Moving to the center, we have the Ace of Swords with the Seven of Swords. That's a talk, conversation, message, offer that just pops up out of the blue. But I also feel for a lot of Aquariuses in this time that you would be very prone to call things out, especially if they don't make sense to you or you notice some like incongruency. Moving to the back end, we have the Four of Swords with the Two of Wands. Yeah, I plan on it. Somebody planning, strategizing, but it's like, yeah, but I'll do it at some point. I plan on doing it, but just not yet. So it's kind of like pushing something down the road a little bit. Um, there's strategy happening though. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got? What is? Oh, okay, I'll take it. Yeah, Four of Swords. So we'll look at the shadow side of it because we spoke about the good aspect of it. We have the same card showing up in the shadows that we have right here. Now, positives, good bonuses, great for prayer, meditation, connecting with one's inner voice. For a lot of you, you might need a little rest, break, recharge the batteries. Nothing wrong with that. A little time to relax. Because remember, we're getting the overstimulated energy here. It needs like sensory deprivation when we get to the back end here. But the shadow side of the Four of Swords, it may plan on doing something, it may want to do something, but this card can also sometimes never get around to it. Where it's like if you delay it too long, you're never going to do it. Like if you keep kicking the can down the road, you're going to keep kicking the can down the road. Now, I'm not saying that's you, and there's no judgment here. I already mentioned that. But the downside of the Four of Swords is it's not really doing much. So again, like maybe it's the energy level thing, maybe it's that little swing of energy we were seeing within. For some of you, you might just need some time to repair, rest, and recharge. But for others, I wouldn't stay in this Four of Swords energy for too long. Okay, so we're just going to let it chill there. It wants to chill, it could chill. That's what I have for you this week, Aquarius. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the January subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or if you'd like to see what 2026 has in store for you, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The January schedule's already up, so you could go check it out and see what's available. It's going quick, but for the January subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's absolutely adorable and is great for readers of all skill levels. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments from today's reading which card spoke to you the most. Even if the reading didn't quite hit, which card was giving you those warm and fuzzies or really caught your attention. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.